Okay. Srila Prabhupada spoke next, advising the chief minister to tolerate material upheavals and execute his duties in Krishna consciousness. The real problem of life, he said, is not to adjust things, materially change from one form of government to another form of government. These things are temporary. It will not give relief. And this fighting between one party with another amongst the politicians or the Kshatriyas or the administrators is going on perpetually. That is not a very new thing. We should not forget our real life. For ruling over, to get political predominance, there may be fighting. That is natural. It is going on. Just like the Battle of Kurukshetra. It was a fighting between two sections of the same family. Who will rule? So, there was fighting, but at the same time, they did not lose Krishna culture. That is the important point. Similarly, India has got a great culture, background, Vedic culture or Krishna culture. Vedic culture means Krishna culture, and Krishna culture means Vedic culture. Vedayasya Sayar Vairaham Eva Vedyo Vedyam. So, to study Vedas or Vedanta means to understand Krishna. That is the purpose. Vedayasya Sayar Vair. Veda means knowledge, and Anta means end. Srila Vyasadeva has given us the Vedanta philosophy. What is the purpose? That is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Sarvasya Chaharati Sanivishto Vataksmatir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. So we should take care very seriously about this culture of Bhagavad Gita. This is India's property, this Vedic culture. Instruction of Bhagavad Gita was spoken on the land of Bharatavarsha, although it is not meant for a particular class of people or a particular country. It is meant for everyone. Manushanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye, especially for the human being. Our request is that we may fight amongst ourselves for political predominance, but why should we forget our real culture, Vedic culture, Krishna consciousness? That is our request. All important men, leaders of society, should take this Vedic culture, Krishna consciousness, and not only preach in their own country, but all over the world. Prabhupada spoke for another 15 minutes and concluded. We have got. His English is normally so nice, but he has these certain phrases that just, we have got. Anyway. Such vast knowledge for achieving the goal of life. This is India. Why should we neglect? Why should we become so foolish as to forget our real purpose of life and engage in a will-o'-the-wisp struggle for existence, which will never be successful? Why this misconception of life? At least there must be this institution of Krishna consciousness in India, so that not only the Indians, but all outside India, they should come and learn what is Krishna consciousness. The audience clapped in agreement. We are trying to develop this institution in Bombay. Bombay is the best city in India, and people are also very advanced, enlightened. Let us combine together and develop this institution for the whole human society. That is our ambition. It is not for any sect or any creed or any particular class of men. Manushanam Sahasreshu, it is for the human society, and we have got this opportunity of human body. A Bengali poet sings, Hari Hari Vipale Janama Goinad Go Nainu. Manusha Janma Pai Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya Janiya Shunya Visha Kainu. Oh my Lord, I've wasted this valuable human form of life because I did not take to Krishna consciousness. If you do not take Krishna consciousness seriously, this human form of life, then you must know that you are drinking poison knowingly. Don't neglect. Try to understand it. It is based on science, philosophy, Shastra knowledge. It is not a blind faith. We are prepared to answer you in any way. The method is very simple. Even a child can take advantage of it. Not that we are manufacturing. It is sanctioned in the Shastra. Kaler doshanadhe rajan asti eko mahan guna. This is the statement by Shukadev Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit. He describes the faults of this Kali Yuga. It is just like an ocean. But there is one great advantage, he said. What is that? Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Parambrajet. If you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then you become free from all contamination and go back home, back to God. And thank you very much. Attendance had been encouraging, so we proposed extending the Pandal another week. Many good classes of people have been coming, Tamal Krishna told Prabhupada. The extra cost will not be more than about 1,000 rupees, since the main cost is in actually building it. So, Bhavananda Maharaj and myself felt that the devotees could continue the Pandal and you won't have to attend. Very nice, Prabhupada approved. I want it to be possible for you. Why should it be closed? We have so much subject matter for speaking. Prabhupada said he would move to his now ready quarters at Hare Krishna land. Although he had originally planned to go to Juhu on Monday, when I informed him that the chief minister would be attending the Pandal on Tuesday, Ram Navami, he had agreed to go on Wednesday instead. I think Surabhi will be quite relieved, Tamal Krishna said. Break. Prabhupada was happy with his new quarters. I think I have got such place to live anywhere in the world, he said, laughing. Especially your own building, Gargamuni added. Los Angeles and New York, big cities, they are London, Paris, but nobody can present such a luxurious royal palace. Once he had settled in, he reviewed the Pandal program with the devotees. That chief minister spoke very nicely, he said. He wanted Chavan's speech transcribed and published in either a magazine or the Hare Krishna Monthly. Both he and his wife appeared to be devotees. The Times of India covered both the chief minister's talk and Prabhupada's response. Big letters. Chief Minister lauds Krishna movement. Quote, Krishna consciousness was the essence of every faith and belonged to the world, Maharashtra Chief Minister Mr. S.B. Chavan said at the third International Hare Krishna Festival at the Cross Maidan in Bombay on Wednesday. But that's not where they were. They were at the other one, right? Yeah. Mr. Chavan lauded the work done by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He said that Swami was responsible for popularizing Krishna consciousness all over the world. Speaking after the chief minister, Swami Prabhupada emphasized the need for scientific understanding of the Bhagavad Gita to solve the problems confronting humanity. Quote, when human society is without dharma, he said, it becomes animal society. The festival scheduled to end on Tuesday has been extended another 5 days. 2 days later, Prabhupada dictated a letter to the chief minister. Dear Sri Chavan, kindly accept my greetings and extend the same to your good wife. I'm so much obliged to you that You have lauded our activities throughout the world. This Krishna consciousness movement is based on deep science of the laws of nature. The human life is a boon to conditioned souls to understand this science. I do not wish to take much of your valuable time, but I would be very much pleased if persons like you, without any political prejudice, come and take up this movement seriously and benefit the whole human society with this knowledge. Paragraph. At least in India, where this knowledge was generated, there must be some institution to know it perfectly and distribute it throughout the world. That will glorify India's prestige. To broadcast India's glorification is the duty of every Indian without any political differences. I wish that you may take some active part in this movement and thus magnify the prestigious position of India. Thank you very much for coming the other day and speaking so nicely about this Krishna consciousness movement, Prabhupada. When, after a few days, Prabhupada did not receive a reply, he commented that the chief minister was in a bind. He could not agree to join Prabhupada's movement, but neither could he refuse, so he was staying silent. Prabhupada seemed fascinated by Indira Gandhi's sudden, dramatic downfall, and he had devotees read him headlines and excerpts from newspapers about it. Then, after some time, he commented, "What the fools and rascals are saying, that is newspaper." In Juhu. When I arrived in Juhu, Tamal Krishna wanted Prabhupada to let me know what they had been thinking about Prabhupada's stay. Generally, visitors will not come up here, right? He said. Now that Giriraj is here, if you can explain to him what the policy should be. When Prabhupada asked how the activities were progressing in various places, Dhananjaya reported that everything in Vrindavan was, quote, improving nicely. Did I miss a page? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. What should be what the policy should be? You explain, Prabhupada told him. Prabhupada said that he would go down once a week to have darshan. Tamal Krishna told me. No, Prabhupada corrected. I shall go daily in the morning at 7, and I'll stay there half an hour or more. Guru Puja. Those who are visitors, they can see me there. And for lecturing, on Sunday, I shall lecture. You can fix up which time, but Sunday, I shall speak from Bhagavatam. This is the general program. And if something special is required, that is another thing. So, what is the use of inviting visitors here? I agree with that policy, I said. What do you think, Dr. Sharma? Prabhupada asked the eminent cardiac surgeon who was sitting with us and had been a chief guest at the Pandal. I agree, Dr. Sharma replied. Some very urgent or special thing, then it can be done, otherwise not. Generally, Prabhupada continued, people come to visit. How are you? How are you feeling? And it takes a half an hour even. What is the use of wasting time like that? How are you? Everyone knows that I'm not feeling well. They can come in the morning, Tamal Krishna said. Yes, if they actually want to see me, I'm going there. They can see me for half an hour, more than half an hour. And for talking, there's no need of talking. How are you? How are you feeling? This is not talking. Instead, they can buy some of your books downstairs, Gargawani said. This is waste of time, Prabhupada continued. At least I want to stop this to answer all these things. How are you? That will conserve a great deal of energy if you don't have to meet with people, Tamal Krishna said. And balance time saved, I can do work. That's good, Tamal Krishna said. Practically everyone has Sunday as a holiday, so if they want to hear you speak, they are all free to come Sunday. Yes, this is the general program. If there is something special that we shall do, I am all right so long I am able to write. I do not stop writing books unless I am not all right. So generally arranged like that, and specifically we shall meet once daily, half an hour to 1 hour. There is no difficulty, but not continually people coming. This is bad. I agree with that, I said. Actually, people respect that, Srila Prabhupada, Tamal Krishna said. It is not unusual that someone should have a program like that. People take advantage of your compassion and mercy. They used to come 2 or 3 hours every evening and sit. Prabhupada had previously complained to me about people coming and wasting his time. But he had said that if he stopped holding his darshan hours, people would complain, oh, Swamiji has become a big man now. He has no time for us. He had said, maybe when I move to my new quarters. But clearly here too, even without his having darshan hours, we would have to make arrangements to keep visitors away so that he could do his work and conserve his energy. I think I shall be able to work from today, Prabhupada said. Now I've got very nice place, full freedom, so there will be no difficulty. I suggested that he need not begin coming at 7 in the morning now, that he could hold off for some days if he wanted to rest more and gain strength. No, I can go, he said, provided the lift is working. And everyone laughed. Otherwise, I shall be obliged. What can be done? Gargamuni asked Prabhupada if he would be taking his morning walk. Walking should be stopped at least for some time, and if I walk, I may walk on the roof. The lift doesn't go up to the roof, though, Gargamuni said. We can take you by palanquin, I suggested. No, one story I can go, Prabhupada said. Not now, but I can go. You are trying so much for my comfort. I do not know whether I shall be able to repay you. Then I shall try my best. It is not possible to repay my debt to you. You are so kind. I can simply pray to Krishna to give his blessings to you so that you may remain very steady in devotional service and preach this cult all over the world. Otherwise, I have no other means. Without your help, I could not do anything. You are very much kind. Kindly continue your cooperation. Para Upakar. This is the movement for Para Upakar. Prabhupada's words melted our hearts and made us feel even more obliged to him, that we could never repay our debt. When Prabhupada asked how the activities were progressing in various places, Dhananjay reported that everything in Vrindavan was, quote, improving nicely. We read that one. If you become nice devotee, everything will be improved, Prabhupada said. Bhaktya mama bhajanati yavanyasyasmi tattvataha. The more you increase your devotional service, the more everything will be increased. Who expected such temple here? Nair wanted from me 14 lakhs, but I had no 1400 even. With so much difficulty, we collected the money. Bali Mardan sent from New York 10 lakhs. I remember. Giriraj, you were here from the very beginning? No, at that time you were in Calcutta. I came after about 2 weeks, I replied. Our Tamal Krishna Maharaj refused to take charge. Prabhupada continued. Madhuvisa also. I was a little hopeless. Then Brahmananda encouraged me, I will do it. But then he was silent. Nair's policy was, where will he get this money from? He is a beggar. 14 lakhs? Whatever he gives, 1, 2 lakhs, that's all swallowed. I told him frankly that I have no such money. Immediately I can collect 4 lakhs. I shall give you 2 lakhs against your amount, and 2 lakhs I shall spend for construction. Of course, within 3 years, I shall fill up. He thought that whatever comes, 2 lakhs, 1 lakh, I would not be able. I knew that I had no money, but I never thought I shall not be able to do. That I was confident. So it's a great history. So many things happened. It's all Radha Rasa Bihari's Leela. I remember working really hard to get, I didn't know how much was sent, but it was a big amount. We worked very hard. Prabhupada was confident because of his faith in and surrender to Lord Krishna. He had explained in a talk in Vrindavan a year earlier, quote, in Bombay, now the land is worth 1 crore of rupees, and when I purchased this land, I had maybe 3 or 4 lakhs. So it was completely speculation, but I was confident that I shall be able to pay, Krishna will give me. He turned to Swarup Damodar. Now, next program, yours. Make a strong party and travel extensively all over the world amongst the scientists, and whatever amount is required, I shall spend. What do you expect? What do you expect monthly expenditure will be without any difficulty for a whole party? How many do you want to travel? To start with, Swarup Damodar said, 3 of us should travel. 3 scientists can travel together, and if necessary, you are recruiting other scientists also? Yes. Supposing you were recruiting, Tamal Krishna asked, how many would you make ideally as a team? About 5 would be ideal. A bigger group would be too expensive. And sometimes, no, make it 5, Prabhupada said. Yes, 5. Recruit 2 others and make it at least 5 and travel all over the world, all institutions, all universities, all scientists. If you have got, there he goes, commodity, deliver. It is not a bluff, gold manufacturing. It is not that. Actually, fact. That day, your presentation was very nice. Any scientist will be convinced by such presentation, learned his speeches. So now at least 5 men, and estimate what will be the expenditure. I shall arrange. Don't worry. For expenditure, there is no worry. What will be the rough expenditure? It will depend on what part of the world we are traveling, Swarup Damodar replied. You travel all over the world. Why part of the world? We are not preaching part. Pritiviche achayati nagaradigram. We are concerned. Nothing shall be left over. Tamal Krishna Maharaj can give us some hints how much it costs. He has some experience in traveling. Maybe $10,000, Tamal Krishna answered. Sanctioned, Prabhupada stated. I will give you 10,000. Do it. This is solid work, yes. It must be done without any hesitation, without any impediment. That will increase the prestige of our movement. Although Prabhupada was satisfied with his new quarters, he still had one concern: noise related to his personal staff. He wanted silence so he could focus on his work. He told a story about a husband whose wife's tinkling bracelets disturbed him. The man took away one bangle, but still tink, tink, tink. Then he took away another bangle, again tink, tink, tink. Another bangle, still tink, tink, tink. Not until there was only one remaining bangle was there no tink, tink, tink. So remain always one and read the books. This is a story from the from Uddhava Gita, what Prabhupada is telling here. The girl with the bangles. Then there will be no noise. And as soon as you become too tink, 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 that I don't want. Very good. No, it won't happen, Tamal Krishna assured him. If anyone comes to see me, I'll go out of the apartment. Yes, you can make reception there. At the elevator shaft, yes. In this way, arrange. It should remain always quiet and serene. These are your quarters. No one else should come. And we shall arrange for seeing our own men at a time. That we shall see. But the principle should be silence. Then it will be all right. I will be free to work. Very good. We will see to that, Srila Prabhupada. Break. Next morning, without notice, Prabhupada came down to the temple room. A few devotees and I hurried to remove his picture from the Vyasa-san so he could sit. And though many of the devotees were absent, when news spread that Prabhupada was there, they ran to join him. After Guru Puja, Prabhupada spoke to console the devotees. He said that he was sorry he couldn't come down more often and that he wanted to cook for them and serve them. Shoo. On Sunday, he would cook a feast and invite them to come to his quarters. Ooh. Quote, I shall come daily to the temple, he said, and I shall remain up to 8 for our darshan and talks, if there are any. Generally, every day it will be done. And on Sunday, you can fix up some time. I shall speak in the evening. Then Krishna's desire as he likes. But for the time being, this arrangement. Then Prabhupada spoke about the significance of Guru Puja. What is that verse? Divya Gyan Hriday Prokashito. Just recite the one before that. Prema Bhakti Yaha Hoite Avidya Vinasha Yate, someone said. The necessity is Prema Bhakti. Prema Bhakti Yaha Hoite Avidya Vinasha Yate Divya Gyan. What is that Divya Gyan? Divya means transcendental, not material. Tapo Divyam. We are a combination of matter and spirit. That spirit is Divya, transcendental. Aparayam itas tu vidime prakritim para. This is para prakriti, superior. And for understanding that superior identity, we require superior knowledge, not ordinary knowledge. Divya Gyan Hriday Prokashito. That is the duty of the Guru, to awaken that Divya Gyan. And because the Guru enlightens with Divya Gyan, he is worshipped. That is required. To those who are in Maya, that Divya Gyan is never manifested. They are kept in the darkness of Avidya Gyan. I am this body, I am Indian, I'm American, I'm Hindu, I'm Muslim. This is Avidya Gyan, Dehatma Buddhi. Yasyatma Buddhi Kunapetri Dhatuke. He was referring to the Bhagavatam verse 10:84:13. We all know the verse. I am not this body, Prabhupada continued. So, the beginning of Divya Gyan is there when we try to understand that I am not this body, I am superior element, I am spirit soul. This body is inferior, so why should I remain in this inferior knowledge? We should not remain in the inferior. Inferior knowledge means darkness, tamasi maha. The Vedic conjunction is, don't remain in the inferior knowledge, jyotirgama, come to the superior knowledge. So we worship the Guru because he gives us superior knowledge, not how to eat, how to sleep, how to have sex life and defend. Generally, the political leaders, social leaders, they give this knowledge, how to eat, how to sleep, how to have sex, and how to defend. And a guru has no business with these things. He gives Divya Gyan superior knowledge that is required. This human form of life is an opportunity to awaken that. Divya Gyan Hriday Prokashito. And if a person is kept in darkness about that Divya Gyan, he is simply trained up how to eat, how to sleep, how to have sex, and how to defend, then life will be lost. That is a great loss. Ritu samsaravartmani, apraptyamam nivartante, ritu samsaravartmani. It is a very risky life if we do not awaken our Divya Gyan. We should always remember this. Very risky life. Once again, thrown into the waves of birth and death. We do not know where we are going. Very serious. This Krishna consciousness is Divya Gyan. It is not ordinary knowledge. Everyone should try to understand this Divya Gyan. Daivim prakritim ashrita. Therefore, One who is interested in this Divya Gyan, he is called Daivim Prakritim Ashritam. From Daivi, Divya comes, the Sanskrit word. From Daivi, Divya, adjective. So Mahatmanas Tumam Parta Daivim Prakritim Ashrita. One who is taken to this Divya Gyan process, he is Mahatma. Mahatma is not made by stamping for receiving knowledge how to eat, how to sleep, how to have sex. That is not the definition in the Shastra. Samahatma Sadurlabha, Bahunam Janmana Mante Gadavanma Prapadyate. If one has got this Divya Gyan, Vasudev Sarvamiti, he is Mahatma. But that is very, very rare. Otherwise, Mahatmas like me, they are loitering in the street. That is their business. So you should always remember these words, Divya Gyan Hriday Prokashito. And because the spiritual master enlightens with Divya Gyan, one feels obliged to him. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya prasada nagati kutopi. The Guru Puja is essential, just as deity worship is essential. It is not cheap adoration. It is the process of enlightenment. Divya Gyan, thank you very much. Not only did Prabhupada give us his personal association and reassurance and reassure us of his care, he also taught us how to love and serve him, even in his physical absence. Break. In his delicate condition, Srila Prabhupada spent most of his time upstairs in his quarters. Most days, he honored his lunch prasad at 1 o'clock, and for his health, he wanted it exactly on time and hot. One afternoon, yet Navayogendra Swami, who served Prabhupada his prasad and sometimes cooked for him, brought the prasad a few seconds before 1 o'clock. And Prabhupada's hand was on the bell, poised to ring. Prabhupada smiled and said, "You came on time. How are you?" When something in the service went wrong and Prabhupada became angry, Navayogendra wasn't sure how to respond. Srila Prabhupada asked, "When you get angry with us, what should I do? How should I feel? What should we think?" If the spiritual master is angry with you, you should be pleased. Prabhupada replied, "It means that he's attending to you. You should feel happy. You should understand that your spiritual master cares for you. His getting angry with you means he is looking after you. He is concerned about your spiritual progress." When my Guru Maharaj became angry with me, he added, we were pleased. There were so many hundreds and thousands of people in the streets, but no one is looking after them. But if the spiritual master becomes angry with the disciple, that is his mercy on that person. If someone is walking down the street and doing nonsense, no one will check him. So many people are doing so much nonsense, but no one is checking them. But if someone is checked, if a disciple is checked by his spiritual master, this is to his eternal benefit. So many people in the material world are doing all kinds of nonsense. Is there anybody checking them, correcting them? No. They will all go to hell. When the spiritual master gets angry at the disciple, it is the mercy of Krishna on that soul. Navayogendra reflected on what Prabhupada had told him. His anger was only for our rectification, he saw. In the material world, people get angry, but Prabhupada's anger was not like theirs. He was a pure devotee, and he knew the value of this human life, and this human form is meant for self-realization, and we should not waste even a second. We should cultivate Krishna consciousness all the time. If he saw that the disciples were not acting properly, he would get angry for their rectification. Break. One of our best friends in Bombay politics was Ratan Singh Rajda, who had been a municipal councillor when the standing committee of the municipal corporation had condemned Matre's engineering of the illegal demolition of our temple. Rajda belonged to the same political party as our friend and supporter, Sri R.K. Ganatra, the mayor of Bombay. and so they were also close. In the recent elections, Mr. Rajda had been elected to Parliament from the prestigious Bombay South area, and when I told him that Prabhupada was in Bombay, he was eager to meet him. A meeting was arranged for the eve of Mr. Rajda's departure for Delhi on March 27 at Kartikeya Mahadevi's flat. Like many other Indians, Mr. Rajda was hopeful that with Morarji Desai as Prime Minister, the newly elected government would effect positive change. Good luck with Prabhupada. On the afternoon of the 27th, I told Prabhupada that when I had informed Mr. Rajda that Prabhupada had agreed to wait to meet him, Mr. Rajda had said, "That this is wonderful. I've been pining for his darshan. Now we must have Rama Raja, the government like Lord Rama's. That is why I must meet your Guru Maharaj before I go back to Delhi tomorrow." Mr. Rajda was participating in a big political rally at Shivaji Park, I told Prabhupada, and he had invited me to sit on the dais with him. But I don't know if this is a good idea for us, I said, thinking about the possible ramifications if we were seen as aligning with a particular political party. Why not? He is honoring you, Prabhupada replied. Mr. Rajda said that he would ask the organizer that he should speak early in the program so he can be free and come in here as early as possible, I explained. So he is very serious. I don't think that there will be any delay. He formally helped us? Asked Tamal Krishna. Yes. When Matre did that demolition attempt, he was one of the leaders in the corporation and he fought for us. In fact, today he asked if there was any trouble because he was still maintaining his position in the municipal corporation. So I think when he gets back from Delhi in a week, I might bring up some of our little problems. I had to leave, but I told Prabhupada that I would return with Mr. Rajda as soon as possible. And when I did, Mr. Rajda told Prabhupada, I came for your darshan when you were at Walkeshwar, yes? Last time. At Bogilal Patel's, I added. Since then, much water has flowed in the Arabian Sea and the Ganges. For 19 months, I was in jails. Jail? Prabhupada asked. Yes, he said, and he explained that during Indira Gandhi's political emergency, he and 150,000 others had been imprisoned, including Jaiprakash Narayan and Morarji Desai, all big leaders, and all other workers. When he was released, he explained, he had run for election in Bombay South and won by a very comfortable margin. Just now we were at a huge rally in Shivji Park, he said, and when Girirajji told me that you were here, I told him definitely I would like to rush for darshan. Here he goes. This material adjustment, Prabhupada began, just like we felt a little danger under the regime of Indira Gandhi, now we have another feeling. This is material adjustment. Material adjustment may be temporarily beneficial, but it is not permanently beneficial. Unless there is adhyatmika adjustment, there cannot be lasting benefit, Mr. Rajda accepted. The difficulty is that we do not know, Prabhupada continued. Just like you take a fish from water and put it on the land, it will never be happy. Again, you throw him in the water, he'll feel happy. So the living entity is different from Prakriti, material nature. In Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated, Aparamitastvanyam Prakriti Vidime Param. These material elements earth, water, air, fire, ether, mind, intelligence, ego. These are gross and subtle material elements, and the living being, Jiva Bhuta, is superior to the inferior material elements. Aparamitas tvanyam, aparamitas to vidime param prakriti para. Okay. Para prakriti. It is part and parcel of God. Unless we understand this fact, which is very nicely explained in the Bhagavad Gita, this material adjustment will never make us happy. Although Mr. Rajda followed Prabhupada's point, he still believed that a significant change would take place as a result of the elections. As far as this is concerned, he stated, the basic difference is that formerly there was no moral code observed by the rulers. But Prabhupada was not satisfied. It can deteriorate at any moment. That is there, Mr. Rajta conceded. But if the rulers have got faith in Dharma, they have no faith. That is the difficulty. They talk of God, talk of religion, but they do not know what is God, what is religion. That is the problem. If we do not know what is the identity of the living entity, then where's the question of religion? No, Mr. Rajta replied. The last rulers, most of them were communists. They said that religion is opium. They didn't believe in religion at all. Therefore, they say something, we say something, he says something, you manufacture something, but nobody knows what is reality. That is the difficulty. Unless you know the reality, to suggest something, I suggest it. It doesn't mean that it is a solution. This is going on all over the world. Not te vidu svartikatimi Vishnu darashayaye bahir artha manidas bahir artha, the external material features. They are concerned with that, earth, water, fire, air, mind, intelligence. But they do not know that beyond this, there is another element. Unless you come to that knowledge, there is no question of welfare activities. That knowledge is available in India. India should understand. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. It goes again. Bharat Bhumite Hoina Manusha Janmachar. Not only Indian, but he must be a human being. Not only human being, but also systematic human society. Of course, we are trying to give this knowledge. These Americans and Europeans, they are taking it. It should be done very systematically, not alone. No, but in spite of that, your efforts have even had effect on the Western world. Western world knows it is genuine. Genuine, correct. Therefore, even a little effort is giving great benefit. We must know that if effort should be. Everything is there. We must take advantage of it, but we are not taking advantage. We have got good government, very nice. Now you should take advantage of the privileges which are there in India. The Bhagavad Gita is there. If you take direction from the Bhagavad Gita, the whole human society will be benefited. But that you do not do. That is the defect. Even big leaders, they profess to be students of Bhagavad Gita, but they do not know what is Bhagavad Gita, although it is clearly stated. Who is the leader in India who does not know Bhagavad Gita? Everyone knows. Even Morarji Desai, when he was to be arrested by India's government, he said, wait, let me finish my reading of Bhagavad Gita. Is it not? Yes, Mr. Rajda agreed. Then you can arrest me. And in jail, he was also studying very minutely. But now, Prabhupada stated, he says that the political party, Janata, is my God. Did he not recently? Mr. Rajda conceded that Morarji had said that, but added that later he had clarified it. He'll swear he is for God, Krishna. He is very clear in his mind. Then why not preach Krishna God? Why not give the people? Why not the government make people God conscious? It is a very simple thing. God personally is explaining how to become God conscious. Manmana bhava mad bhakto, etc. Even a child can do it. So why not the leaders? Then their example should be followed. Yadyaracharachi shrestas. Why not take to this God consciousness? do it seriously, then everything will be all right. They are defying the existence of God and reading Bhagavad Gita. This is the position. We've got everything in the end to become God conscious, to establish the Lord's kingdom. It is not at all difficult, but we manufacture our own ideas. We want Ram Raja without Ram. Then how Ram Raja will be there? So those who are leaders of the society, if they take seriously, India can be an ideal state, and you can set an example for the whole world. The whole world will be happy, but we must be very serious about it. That is our Krishna consciousness movement. We are trying, but we have no support from the government, from the leaders. We are alone. Now, after 12 years, they've recognized in the United States and London, Germany. Otherwise, 12 years before, I was loitering in the streets in New York. Who was caring for me? Now these boys have joined. They are doing something. They are fighting. Yes, Mr. Rajda agreed. They are doing wonderful work. It is the duty of the Indians, Prabhupada said. But instead of Indians, I have to collect these young men from foreign countries. We were just talking about it on the way. In India, we must take it up. Let there be one institution for training Indian youth for this Krishna consciousness movement. That could be done. You do it, and it will be a wonderful thing. Cooperate with us. It is scientific. Last night, our Dr. Swarup Damodar presented it very scientifically. We can challenge any scientist, any philosopher. If you become serious, if you cooperate with us, this institution can set a great example, not only in India, but to the whole world. You are so kind. You have come to see me. You have got desire, so let us take it seriously. Yes, sir, correct. It is serious, but nobody has taken it seriously. The Bhagavad Gita is a popular book. Everyone takes the Bhagavad Gita and says, I'm student of Bhagavad Gita. It is a very simple thing. And if the leaders of society set the example, others will follow. Correct. Mr. Rajta confirmed. That's correct. Serious effort should be made. Only lip service will not help. I fully agree. We shall definitely apply our mind to that. I came into contact with this movement when the small Juhu temple was demolished. At that time, Giriraj and some friends came to me for cooperation. You have given a great service, Prabhupada told them. Now it is not only not demolished, it is standing there. It is standing, Mr. Rajda said, and very nice temple. So let us take advantage of it and make a perfect institution so that people may utilize. Break. Mr. Rajda asked Prabhupada how long he would be in Bombay. And when Prabhupada said for at least a month, offered that when he returned from Delhi, he would come again and arrange a meeting for Prabhupada with Prime Minister Desai. That meeting could be arranged any time, he said, whenever is convenient to you. My life is dedicated for this purpose, Prabhupada said. It is convenient for me at any time. Otherwise, I am not keeping good health at the moment. Still, I have come. I am just trying. Even up to the last moment of my life, I shall, if I can deliver some good to the people, that is my determination. Mr. Rajda reaffirmed that he could arrange the meeting with Prime Minister Desai at any time and would be in communication with us by telephone. So there's some Krishna's purpose that you were elected, Prabhupada concluded. It is through his blessings, Mr. Rajda said. Take advantage of his blessings, Prabhupada told him. Do some service. 6 days later, I informed Prabhupada that I had just talked on the phone with Mr. Rajda. He had already spoken to the Prime Minister about your meeting, I told him, and the Prime Minister gladly accepted. He is going to arrange for the Prime Minister to meet you here in Bombay at Juhu. Zawi. When he heard that Mr. Rajda was coming from Delhi the next morning and departing in the evening, Prabhupada asked me to invite him and his associates for prasad and to meet him. He's coming because he is a leader in the municipal corporation, I explained, and tomorrow they are electing the new mayor. I was thinking that we could invite him to stop here on his way to the airport in the evening. Otherwise, he is coming back on the 8th to spend about a week here. He is very enthusiastic, very good. Prabhupada responded, he's a good boy. For somebody that's, as old as Prabhupada, everyone's a boy. He said, I am all out for this movement. I am all out for Swami Prabhupada. Send him the remark from the chief minister, Prabhupada said, referred to in the Times of India article. Chief Minister Law's Krishna movement. He'll so much appreciate. Everyone is appreciating this movement. Gradually, they will appreciate. I told Prabhupada that I was thinking of going to Delhi for a few days so Mr. Rajda could introduce me to the pious members of parliament and we could organize a whole group to visit our Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan. Do the needful, Prabhupada said. Go. At least in India, there must be this spiritual institution. The whole world may take advantage. What is this cats and dogs race civilization? Is that civilization? Here is civilization, Bhagavad Gita, basic principles of civilization. India should maintain this. There are so many big universities. A student may or may not go, but the university must be maintained. Because there is no student, therefore university closed? No. This Krishna consciousness institution must be maintained for the benefit of the whole world. Mrityu samsara vartmani. They do not know how nature's law is working. I was struck by how convinced Prabhupada was about the necessity of Krishna consciousness and how he was always preaching, even to us. Soon thereafter, while Prabhupada was speaking with Tamal Krishna and me, the recording of Juhu singing Govinda began playing. The devotees were greeting the deities in their new dress for the day. Such a nice thing, Prabhupada said. Alone in this world, I am struggling, and the so-called intelligent persons, they will not come. They have business. Why? If it is actually beneficial to the human society, why should I try alone? I will go on trying as long as I live. There will be no checking. But what kind of intelligent persons there are? We shall go on playing Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. People may hear or not, we don't mind. On April 13, I went up to Prabhupada's quarters to see Tamal Krishna. We were always mindful not to disturb Prabhupada, so we met in the furthest outside room where Tamal Krishna had his desk and spoke in whispers, with 2 sets of closed doors between us and him. Tamal greeted me with a warm embrace and then asked me to go to the bank to make a deposit. I hesitated. I'm the temple president, he thought. I have so much important work to do that nobody can do. Why me? Why do I have to go to the bank? Anyone can go to the bank and make a deposit. So I told Tamal, there are many devotees who can make a bank deposit, but there are many things that only I can do, so better to do those things and let somebody else make the deposit. Perhaps on some deeper level, based on envy or false ego, I may have been considering, who are you to tell me to go to the bank? We were discussing it all in hushed tones so as to not disturb Prabhupada. Suddenly, Prabhupada's bell rang, and Tamal Krishna and I raced around the outside hallway to his room. Especially then, it was a rare treat to be summoned into Prabhupada's presence. Now you have to do so many things, Prabhupada said to me, straight away chuckling. Again, another burden. You have to do all these things. So how is your preaching? I wasn't sure exactly what he meant, but he knew that I sometimes felt burdened by management and preferred to preach. I gave him a report about our recent preaching successes, and he spoke about the mood of a Vaishnav in the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If one does not present Bhagavad Gita as it is, then where is its authority? He asked. And then apparently to illustrate his point, he said, if I say, Giriraj, You go there to the bank. And no, I cannot do this. I can do only this. Then where is my authority? He laughed, just see. I didn't think Prabhupada could possibly have heard my exchange with Tamal Krishna. We had been separated by a room and two closed doors. Krishna, I thought, must have inspired him from within. And further, he had pointed out a defect in my mentality that I was seeing Tamal Krishna independent of him, thinking that he was just my god brother and that I should have seen him as Prabhupada's representative, that it was Prabhupada's order coming to me through him. I thought of Prabhupada's opening words. Now you have to do so many things. Again, another burden. You have to do all these things. He had spoken with emphasis. You have to do all these things. And I understood that if I saw the service as coming from Prabhupada, I wouldn't feel it a burden. This is like a fantastic sabji with spices and ghee and fragrances and the sabji itself. 2 days later, Mr. Rajda came to visit with his wife, daughter, nephew, and 2 associates. After the customary greetings, Prabhupada showed them some of his most recent publications. The get-up is wonderfully attractive, said Mr. Rajda, and the contents are no doubt divine. Srimad Bhagavatam Amalam Puranam, Prabhupada quoted. This is the regrettable fact that we have got in India the real knowledge and we have locked up that knowledge. We have locked up, Mr. Rajda agreed. That is the greatest crime we have committed. Jnana Kala. Saraswati Jnana Kala Yata Sati. There is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, Jnana Kale. If you have got some knowledge, you should distribute it. That will glorify you. Not that I have got some knowledge, I'll keep it a secret. I'll keep it secret. India has got such exalted, vast knowledge of spiritual life, and that is locked up. We are imitating the Western dog dancing with that audience. Shoo. This I wanted to bring to your notice. This will not do any good. Some arrangement should be made that this exalted knowledge of India must be distributed. That I have begun with my humble, but I have no cooperation of the authorities. That is most regrettable. Now there is no change of government. Now there is change of government. And Moraji is a very religious person. So why not attempt? At least keep an ideal institution, just like for technical knowledge. If there is good medical college in any part of the world, people go there without any consideration of nationality or anything. Similarly, let there be an ideal institution in India so that the whole world can come and learn. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. He declares, Bharata Bhumi. Here we go again. First of all, make your life perfect. You have got the opportunity, Vedic culture, and then distribute the knowledge all over the world for doing good to the whole human society. That will glorify the prestige of India. If you object, oh, India is secular. Bhagavad Gita is for every man. There's no question of Hindu, Muslim, Christian, or this or that. No, Krishna says, Dehinosmin yata dehe. A child is growing to become a boy. A boy is growing to become a young man. A young man is growing to become an old man. And what is the question of secular? Everyone grows. Does it mean when it is spoken in Bhagavad Gita, it is only meant for the Hindus? It is universal. Mr. Rajta agreed. It is universal. Science. It is science. So why this science is kept locked up and distorted by the leaders. If you understand one line of Bhagavad Gita, your life becomes successful. Then they came to points of practical cooperation, how Mr. Rajda and the government could help. You are a young man, Prabhupada said. You can think it over. With your blessings, I can be sure to be able to do something. But Prabhupada also wanted Mr. Rajda to actually go deep in Krishna consciousness. We have got, at least in Bombay, the most important place in India, this institution. So come here. Try to understand the philosophy. There is no difficulty. The way Prabhupada spoke could have been taken that he was speaking in general, not only to Mr. Raja in particular, but he was addressing Mr. Raja personally. What does that mean? Oh, he could have been speaking in general, not to Mr. Raj. Okay. Prabhupada asked for prasad to be served to his guest and showed Mr. Raj BTG. Universal, he said. We have got recent pictures from our different temples. Just see how they're worshiping. This is in foreign countries. They've got their own religion. Then why they should worship Krishna? What is the circulation? Prabhupada asked Tamal Krishna. 1 million copies per month, Tamal Krishna replied. That's in English only. Then it is published in Spanish, Portuguese, German, French, Dutch, Japanese, Chinese, Hindi, Bengali, Gujarati, Telugu. Recently we came out with a Hungarian publication. They are following, Prabhupada said. I want to make it more speedy, but I have no help. Now, for the time being, these boys are helping me, and the government is driving them away. Get out, get out. Can you not help me in this? No Indians are coming. I'm bringing men and money from there, and government is driving them. Get out. This is my position. And if one boy goes back and again comes, 10,000 rupees. In this way, I'm losing 5 to 6 lakhs of rupees per year for nothing. This is the cooperation of the government. But why is the government driving them out? Mr. Rajda said. This, your so-called visa. They won't give us the proper visas, so we can stay, Tamal Krishna clarified. Just like I have got an American permanent residence. So why not give them permanent residence? Correct. But this problem could be settled very easily, Mr. Rajda said. Kindly do that. That will be a great help immediately. That I'll do immediately. That's why I was just inquiring what concrete thing you would like me to do. Immediately, kindly help me. That give at least 100 men permanent residential permission. They are not politicians. They are not interested. They are devotees. Then I can manage these big establishments like Bombay Vrindavan. Mr. Rajda asked for a list of Prabhupada's men who needed visas. I will arrange immediately, he promised. Tamal Krishna said he would compile a list. We'll do this immediately, and if necessary, I will even fight with the government. They've got to do it. Only thing is, if you can give me some note, what are the hurdles? Bring some paper, Prabhupada instructed. Write it. Immediately begin to do this. They're coming from very rich, respectable families. They have not come here to earn money and exploit India. They have no such business. I can guarantee that they will bring money from America and live here, not touch a single paisa in India. Now, suppose there are 100 Americans, and if I am bringing 10 lakhs of rupees per month, then what is it per capita? 10,000, I said. Kindly help me, Prabhupada appealed. We will think ourselves duty-bound, Mr. Rajda replied. I feel intensely about it. There is no question about it. And I guarantee that if they take any part in politics, you can drive them away immediately. I've given everything. They're not thinking that they are American. Sarvapati vinirmuktam tat paratrina nirmalam. This is the process of bhakti. Sarvapati vinirmuktam. Upadi, designation. This is upadi. I am living here, but I've got some designation. I'm Hindu, I'm Muslim. These are designations. Then MP. This is designation. You're not MP. You're a living being, part and parcel of Krishna, part and parcel of God, correct? And This designation can be removed at any moment. Indira Gandhi, no more prime minister. Gone in a wink. Designation finished. So, Sarvapati Vinirmuktam. When one becomes free from all designation, Tat Paratvena Nirmalam, simply by Krishna consciousness, he becomes purified. Rishiketa Rishikesha Sevanam. Bhakti. Then bhakti begins. Although Prabhupada was taking help from Mr. Rajda as an MP, he wanted him to know that he was not the temporary designation MP. He was Krishna's eternal servant. Brahmabhuta Prasanatma. This is the permanent condition. As soon as they become devotees, they have no more designation. This conception is not there. I'm American, I'm Indian, I'm Hindu, I'm Muslim. No. And that's 12 pages. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.